यूक्रेन के एम्बेसडर जो दिल्ली में है वो इस समय प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस को जनरल मलिक संबोधित कर रहे हैं। हम जरा अपने दर्शकों को सुना देते हैं कि वो इस प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में क्या कह रहे हैं।
Military airports, military installations were attacked by bombs and missile attacks. Some attacks happened on the outskirts of the capital. Some attacks happened deeply inside the territory of Ukraine. We are getting the first information about casualties among our soldiers and among civilian population. The statement of the Russian Ministry of Defense was very cynical. We are attacking only
भारत में यूक्रेन के राजदूत ये बता रहे हैं कि जो कीव है उसके आसपास बहुत सारी मिसाइल अटैक्स हुई हैं। आगे सुनिए।
On the outskirts of the capital. There is fighting in some areas. According to the information of our Ministry of Defense,
कई इलाकों में आमने सामने की लड़ाई चल रही है।
5 Russian fighter planes,
5 रूसी फाइटर प्लेन को मार गिराया गया है यूक्रेन द्वारा।
We destroyed 2 tanks and several
यूक्रेन ने कई टैंकों को भी रूस के ध्वस्त किया है।
Information is continuing to come. In spite of these assurances of the military of the strikes on the military sites, there are reports that Russian troops are crossing the border.
रिपोर्ट्स आ रही है कि रूसी ट्रूप्स बॉर्डर क्रॉस कर रहे हैं।
The relatives of my wife live just 15 kilometers from the Russian border. Early in the morning, they were waken up by some explosions on the territory of Ukraine.
यूक्रेन की सीमावर्ती इलाकों में धमाके हुए थे सुबह सुबह।
Attacked a lot of Ukrainian checkposts and border posts. Ukraine already is introducing the military state. We are starting mobilization of the reservists. Ukrainian army is not the army of 2014 when it was very much feeble.
यूक्रेन की सेना 2014 की सेना नहीं रह गई है, अब हम बहुत ताकतवर हैं।
Years, situation drastically and cardinally changed. Ukrainian people are not panicking.
यूक्रेन के लोग घबरा नहीं रहे हैं, वो लड़ेंगे रूस के खिलाफ।
Territorial integrity, to defend our towns and cities. And this information,
यूक्रेन अपनी क्षेत्रीय स्वायत्तता के लिए लड़ाई लड़ेगा।
Invading troops is confirmation of this fact. This aggression, it was not predicted by anyone. Sober-minded people could not expect it. Up to the last moment, the world was hoping for the peaceful solution. Up to the last moment,
आखिरी समय तक सबको उम्मीद थी कि शांति कायम रहेगी।
asking for bilateral negotiations with Russia.
दोनों तरफ से बातचीत करके मामले का निपटारा हो सकता था।
We can see the clash of democratic country. Ukraine is like India, democratic country, and totalitarian regime. Now,
यूक्रेन एक लोकतांत्रिक देश है।
To India. Of course, the position and the task of every ambassador is to make the position of the country of his state more favorable to our case. The special case is the India. You know that India is United Nations Security Council non-permanent member. India is very influential global player. I am dealing with India from my young student years. And I know a lot.
भारत मदद करे हालात संभालने के लिए यूएनएससी में अस्थायी सदस्य होने के नाते क्या कदम उठाए जा सकते हैं? युद्ध में फंसे यूक्रेन ने भारत से मदद मांगी है.
Approximately 2,400 years back, when on the major part of Europe there was no civilization, and even those days you had qualified diplomacy. Let's go into your mythological stories. Just remember Mahabharata, which according to some reports, the war happened in 3102nd year before Christ.
पौराणिक इतिहास की ओर दोनों देशों के संबंधों का जिक्र कर रहे हैं यूक्रेन के राजदूत.
Of solving this conflict by peaceful means. Unfortunately, in Mahabharata case, it was not so successful, but I am hoping that in our case, it should be much more successful. Don't forget that India, for many years, was and still the leader of non-alignment movement. Non-alignment movement was created
गुटनिरपेक्ष
in the time of
देशों
the Cold War
का जिक्र करते हुए कह रहे हैं कि भारत अगुवा रहा है इसका,
to prevent
और आज भारत की बड़ी जिम्मेदारी हो जाती है इस युद्ध को रोक पाने में.
on the principles of peace. Don't forget that India was among architects of the world famous 5 principles, Panchashila. That's why
पंचशील समझौते का भी जिक्र कर रहे हैं, नॉन अलाइन मूवमेंट का जिक्र कर रहे हैं और कह रहे हैं कि भारत के ऊपर ये दारोमदार है कि यहां पर शांति रहे. भारत की पैठ ऐसी है समूची दुनिया में कि इस युद्ध को भारत रोक सके.
is the powerful global player. And in case of aggression of totalitarian regime against democratic state, India should fully assume its global role.
अरे अगर एक लोकतांत्रिक देश की तरफ इस तरह की कार्रवाई हुई है तो भारत का दायित्व बन जाता है शांति.
And respected leaders of the world. You know that you have special privileged strategic partnership with Russia. I don't know how many world leaders Putin may listen to, but the status of Modi ji makes me hopeful that
बड़ी बात कह रहे हैं कि पता नहीं कितने विश्व के नेता हों जिनकी बात व्लादिमीर पुतिन सुनेंगे, लेकिन प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी का रुतबा ऐसा है कि पुतिन उनकी बात जरूर सुनेंगे. इसीलिए बात करनी चाहिए भारत को रूस से. ये अपील है यूक्रेन के राजदूत की.
of the Indian government in this crisis situation. It's the moment of truth, moment of destiny. I am following all the reports on the site of your ministry, and the latest advisory to your citizens in Ukraine was just not to go out.
आइगोर पोलिखा भारत में यूक्रेन के राजदूत बड़ी बात कह रहे हैं कि भारत को बीच बचाव करना चाहिए. सैन्य मदद, सैन्य हस्तक्षेप की बात नहीं बल्कि बातचीत के हस्तक्षेप की बात.
That India is closely following development of events. We are deeply dissatisfied with this position. What does it mean closely following or more closely. Now, 10, 15 people are killed. When hundreds or thousands will be killed, in this case, what will happen? Is following more closely. We are waiting. We are asking. We are pleading for the strong voice of India. In this case, I think that in this case, your Prime Minister can address Mr. Putin. He can address our President. Many times in the history, India played peacekeeping role. You are among the first nations
विश्व शांति की कई
from the point of
कोशिशें की
view
हैं.
of amount of
पीस कीपिंग
peacekeepers,
रोल भारत का
even
बड़ा है.
of
भारत के
military
सैनिक भी
casualties.
दूसरे देशों में यूएन पीस कीपिंग फोर्सेस का हिस्सा होकर जाते हैं
That's why
और भारत से
peace
सबसे
loving
बड़ी उम्मीद
nation.
देख रहा है यूक्रेन.
We are asking for your strong voice to stop this war. I don't know what will happen in 1 hour, in 2 hours, after 1 day. Situation may get out of control.
परिस्थितियां 1 घंटे 2 घंटे 1 दिन में कितनी बदल जाएंगी वो कहा नहीं जा सकता. इसीलिए जल्द से जल्द हस्तक्षेप की आवश्यकता है.
It will be the conflict involving the whole world. Already, approximately 70 countries, geographically starting from Guatemala and ending with Japan, already supported of Ukraine. Expressed
दुनिया के
their
70
support
देशों ने यूक्रेन का समर्थन अब तक कर दिया है.
that the amount of these countries, including friendly ones, which every time we consider India, will further increase. Situation drastically changed. At present, we are not satisfied with protocol statements. Deep disappointment, deep concern, it matters nothing. First of all, we need absolute support from our friendly countries, from the whole world, just to stop this war.
यूक्रेन के राजदूत बड़ी बात कह रहे हैं कि इस युद्ध को रोकने के लिए मदद चाहिए. वो किसी भी तरीके से युद्ध आगे लड़ने की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, सैन्य मदद की बात नहीं कर रहे हैं, युद्ध रोकने की अपील कर रहे हैं.
About some kind of support, of assistance. I am not saying, I cannot dictate the terms. Which words should be, which practical actions. Maybe oral, verbal condemnation. Maybe some sanctions. Maybe humanitarian or military assistance. Whatever you like. Maybe cancellation of bilateral events with Russia. It's not the proper time to hold some bilateral events. There isn't. Now bilateral event is held only by your neighbor there. And again, another issue. It's not connected directly to me. It's connected to you. It's connected to Indians. Ukraine has got one of the biggest amounts of Indian students. More than 20,000.
यूक्रेन में सबसे अधिक संख्या में भारतीय छात्र ही पढ़ते हैं.
Of your citizens, it's our task, but first of all, it's task of your government. Immediately, after the request of the Indian side, we abolished all the quotas on the seats, on the flights, and everything. We tried to help. Now, unfortunately,
छात्रों को बाहर निकालने में हमने मदद बहुत की, और अब एयर स्पेस बंद हो गया है यूक्रेन का.
To many Indians residing in Ukraine, they like Ukraine. The majority of them don't want to be evacuated. They are praying to God for some peaceful solution. And in this case, again, not only for the sake of Ukraine, but even for the sake of your citizens, all of us, including the powerful world leader, Modi ji, they should exert every pressure, every effort.
न केवल यूक्रेन के लिए बल्कि वहां पर रह रहे भारतीयों के लिए भी प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी को हस्तक्षेप करना चाहिए.
They are never choosing exact place. Any one of us can be the target. That's why we are seeking your support, we are asking for your support, and we are pleading for your support. India is the global player, and its voice was every time heard in the world and should be heard now.
भारत एक ग्लोबल प्लेयर है, भारत एक विश्व शक्ति है और भारत को मदद के लिए आगे आना ही चाहिए. आइगोर पोलिखा, भारत में यूक्रेन के राजदूत.
As I mentioned, I am repeating myself for the third time. One of the most powerful and respected world leaders is Modi ji. We are expecting that Modi ji will try to influence somehow.
भारत में यूक्रेन के राजदूत पोलिखा ये कह रहे हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी को हस्तक्षेप करना ही होगा.